Yes, folks, it's time for another edition of What's Your Favorite Movie? America's favorite movie podcast that no one listens to. Hey, it's your old movie buddy Ed South, and as always, you can find me on Twitter at Ed South and find our show at WYF Movie Podcast. Well, this week I have asked my good friend Matt to join us as we go on a little What's Your Favorite Movie road trip. Matt, how are you? And welcome to another episode of What's Your Favorite Movie. You were here with us once before.
I wasn't here.
That's
actually.
true. We were recording that one.
I was in the main studio.
In the main studio. We're in a side studio this evening recording this installment. But I also neglected to see what episode number you were on. I believe it was 13. And we talked about your love of A Christmas Story. And what else did we talk about back
Snatch.
then?
We talked about Snatch.
We talked about Snatch, yes. But this show, we're going to talk about something a little different instead of digging into Matt's movies. We're going to also, this studio is nice because I don't have to look at you the whole time. I can't even see you from where.
That's right. Right. It's private.
Okay.
It's booths.
We're going to tell you right now, we have like a blanket over us to dampen the sound in Matt's house. And this is easily the most juvenile thing you and I have ever done.
It's sort of like a
like a little tent.
It's like a pillow fort kind of thing.
Yes, very fun. I mean, we didn't do pillow forts in high school when we met. So anyway, but it's all fun and it's translating really well to the podcast. We need like a stick in the middle to prop it up like a circus tent. But
don't you have an intern or an assistant to do that?
That's true.
Yeah.
So what I thought we'd do today is we're going to talk about places that you can go to celebrate your love of the movies. A friend of mine posted on Facebook that she had just booked a Dirty Dancing weekend at the hotel where that movie was filmed, and they had a whole bunch of activities, and we'll get into that in a few minutes. So I did some research and looked around and found a whole bunch of things that you can do. Hit the road and celebrate your love of movies. Different places where movies were shot or places that have festivals. Matt, have you ever attended such a festival of movie celebration, love, fun, etc.?
Not that I can think of, but when you were mentioning the theme of the show today, what comes to mind is like, oh, go to the beach. That's where Jaws is filmed. Jaws is filmed at every beach.
Well, I have the actual beach where it's filmed, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But you are a fan of the road trip. You ride your motorcycle and do lots of trekking on that.
Travels. Yes. I've traveled about half the country, as in I've gotten to Kansas, and I did not go west of Kansas or west of Dallas. I've been to Chicago.
When you left Kansas, did you look behind yourself and say,
we're not in Kansas
there
anymore?
You go. Movie reference number one, folks.
Yeah.
Let's get into our road trip, and folks, grab a pen and pencil so you can mark it down on the map.
A pen and pencil.
Pen and pencil, I'm sorry. Or a pen and pencil and paper, because you might want... All right.
The 3 Ps.
So we're going to start off... We're recording this in Baltimore today, and a lot of movies shot in Baltimore, but nothing really too exciting to talk to you about. There's no...
John Waters.
Right, John Waters has filmed a lot of movies here, but there's no like big place you would go to relish in some John Waters film history, except for picking out, this was shot here and that was shot here, but there's no big memorable landmarks or anything like that I know of.
I'm not aware of any.
Right. And the second Hairspray movie wasn't even filmed in Baltimore. So we're going to start our trip off going a little north of here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You've ridden the bike to Philly?
No, I haven't.
Well, if you did, everyone knows the most famous movie ever filmed in Philadelphia is Rocky.
I was going to say Rocky.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, is this a Jeopardy show?
We
where
can
I just answer.
We could make it in the form of a question.
Yes.
What is Rocky? So everyone knows
it's that set of stairs.
Right.
Is the answer.
There you go.
Is
yes.
the question. What is the set of stairs?
72 stone steps leading up to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and Rocky runs up them in the movie, and it has been parodied 1,000 times, and also every single tourist that goes there has to run up the stairs, and it's all good. It's all good. You should do that. Run.
I wonder if the police that work there or security. I wonder if the people that run up the stairs, since it's like so many,
right, 72,
so many people. Are there injuries? Do people
That's a good
fall
question.
and like bang their knee up, and then
Right.
the security is like, "We got another one down.
We got a Rocky.
Call
Code
the
Rocky.
ambulance."
Yeah, code
Like,
Rocky.
Is that a thing there? Because that amuses me. It has to happen. If there's stairs
sure.
and people are running up them, there will be injuries.
If you have people running up 72 stone steps repeatedly throughout the day, I would imagine there's
the odds are higher.
Many Band-Aids have been handed out at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. What people also don't know is that there's a bronze statue of Rocky that was commissioned for Rocky III. It's used in the movie Rocky III, and in the movie it's at the top of the steps of that of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. But they have now moved it down to the bottom of the steps.
Stop the injuries,
I guess.
Preferably.
People were so excited to see the statue that they would run up the stairs. But now the statue's at the bottom. So if you like Rocky and you want to recreate a little piece of movie history, go to the Philadelphia Museum of Art and run up what is known as the Rocky Steps. Another movie filmed in Pennsylvania is 1958's The Blob, a great movie. Have you ever seen The Blob?
I think I have seen it.
It is great old movie. It was remade in the 80s, but the original is really good. It's a little, I guess people would call it cheesy, which I don't buy into, but it's a science fiction movie from the 50s about this just weird gelatinous blob that lands in this little town and causes havoc. It's Steve McQueen, one of his first movies. But very odd for a movie in the 50s. It was actually shot in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, shot outside of Hollywood, where almost everything was shot back then. And one of the crucial scenes in the movie is the blob, which again is just this big blob of grape jelly, rolls towards a movie theater, and there's people inside watching the movie, making out, whatever, and the blob oozes out through the projection booth into the theater, and then it cuts outside, and everybody's running out of the theater screaming and yelling or whatever. And that is the Colonial Theater, which still to this day is standing in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. So not only if you go there will you see it, but if you go this year, between July 14th and 16th, you'll be there in time for Blob Fest. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Blob Fest. That does sound like a good festival to go to, actually.
I actually went there a few years ago, and it was really cool to see the theater because it looks exactly like it does in the movie. And one of the big events at Blob Fest is called the Run Out, where on the Friday night, everybody comes to the theater and they fill the theater up, and then at some certain point, everyone runs out of the theater just like in the movie in the exact same fashion, and they film it, and it's on the news and it's on Facebook or whatever. But if running out of a movie theater sounds like your cup of tea, the Blob Fest is for you. They also have a big, huge street fair on the street, and there's double feature screenings. They have a costume contest, and who can forget the fire extinguisher parade?
A costume contest for the Blob?
Well, it's like a science fiction. There was people dressed up from all kinds of movies, not just
They're just freestyling.
Freestyling, yeah, whatever you want to costume. I mean, you wouldn't want to dress up like Abe Lincoln, but the one I remember most is somebody was dressed up like a character from Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, another fine motion picture. Other movies filmed in Pennsylvania? Baby Mama. Oh, yes.
Baby Mama. I think that would be filmed in Baltimore, but no.
Fat Albert. Invincible, Marley and Me, Philadelphia. Who knew that was filmed in Pennsylvania?
Tom Hanks is in that.
Yes, that is correct. The Sixth Sense and Mannequin. Now we're going to head out of Pennsylvania and head on up to New Jersey, where, of course, the famous collection of films known as the View Askew universe, but Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing Amy and all those, made by a little friend of ours by the name of Kevin Smith.
In Red Bank, New Jersey, and I believe one of them,
yes,
has a comic book store
yes.
in Red Bank, New Jersey.
That is correct. At 35 Broad Street, called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who owns it completely, but I would imagine Kevin Smith has more of the money than Jason Mewes does. But anyway, it's a functioning comic book shop and collectibles and memorabilia, but they also have lots of props and stuff on display from the movies that Kevin Smith made, which all take place in and around that area. And in Clerks, most of Clerks takes place at a convenience store called the Quick Stop, and that place is still standing and looks exactly like it does in the movie at 58 Leonardo Avenue in Leonardo, New Jersey, which is about 20 minutes from Red Bank. So you can make a whole trek up there to worship Kevin Smith and go to the comic book store.
All those convenience stores look exactly like
that.
They're all authentic.
That is true. What, in New Jersey? Or just
in Jersey.
Okay. So the Quick Stop is still there, and I read that if you go inside and ask for a pack of Nails cigarettes, which is the cigarettes used in Clerks 2, that they actually have them behind the counter, and they cost $15 a pack. In New York, of course, tons and tons of movies filmed in New York, but I found a couple of interesting little obscure tidbits. First of all, Marilyn Monroe's iconic, I hate the word iconic, but I think you could use it in this phrase because that is an iconic scene, Marilyn Monroe's dress blowing up, is from the movie The 7-Year Itch, where the subway grate blows up the air and it blows up her dress. You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You've seen Under Marilyn Monroe's Dress.
I don't even know if you'd call it an iconic scene. I know it's from a movie.
Right.
But I've always seen it as a still.
Yeah, it's an iconic image, I would say, yes, because nobody even knows what The 7-Year Itch is anymore.
I do. I've been divorced twice.
There you go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had a rim shot
yeah.
sound effect. So that's where they filmed the scene originally for the 7-Year Itch at 586 Lexington Avenue. And if you see pictures of it in New York City, of course, if you see photographs of it, you can match it up perfectly with what's still there now as opposed to this picture in 1955. They shot the scene 14 times at 1 a.m. in the morning with approximately 5,000 people watching and, of course, catcalling, screaming, hooting and hollering because it's Marilyn Monroe and it's New York City and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So they ended up shooting it 14 times and all the shots were unusable because of all the noise and chaos that was going on. So even though you've seen that photo, they've used photos from that night. The scene that was ended up in the movie is actually recreated in a Hollywood soundstage where they had to do another 40 takes. So that was a lot of blowing up Marilyn Monroe's dress. 586 Lexington Avenue, New York City, if you want to see the subway grates that Marilyn Monroe stood on. How about a slice of pizza that John Travolta had? You can do that at Lenny's Pizza, is the pizza place in the movie Saturday Night Fever. Right in the beginning, during the opening credits, Travolta's strutting down the street with the Bee Gees playing, and he stops off and gets 2 slices of pizza. That pizza place is still there, looks almost identical to it does in the movie. 1969 86th Street in Brooklyn. So there's something if you want to...
I do like pizza. I don't know if I would make that a special trip, but hey, you know.
Well, wait, I'm not done, because if you're in that area, you can also recreate the famous car chase from the French Connection. Are you familiar with the French Connection car chase?
No. I'm not. Should I have said yes? They
okay.
wouldn't have known. But the cars, they go fast.
We're going back. It's a more obscure film nowadays, but great car chase, considered one of the best. And
was Vin Diesel in that one?
He was not. He was probably not even born then, but early 70s. It's a great car chase, and it's underneath the elevated tracks of the monorail, of the subway. You've seen it done before in other films too, but the elevated tracks from 50th Street to 86th Street, so you're going to go right past the pizza place, actually. Also in New York City, you want to stop at the deli where Harry and Sally were sitting. You remember that scene?
I know what you're speaking of, where she enjoys her food.
Yes, she faked her enthusiasm. That is at Katz Deli, 205 East Houston Street. I was disappointed. I looked on their website, and they do not have anything called like the Harry sandwich, which I guess is a disgusting name for a sandwich. But there's nothing named after the movie on their menu, which I find disappointing. If a movie was filmed there, you should have the When Harry Met Sally sandwich or the I'll have what she's having.
I'll have what she's having.
Right. There is a beer called that, but no sandwich at the Katz Deli. And of course, also in New York, you can take these bus tours, these double-decker bus tours where you sit up on top and they'll drive around and point out the hundreds and hundreds of movies and television shows that have been shot at in and around New York City, like Spider-Man and Sex and the City and Sopranos. And now we're going to go from New York. We're going to head up to Maine, where I found the lighthouse that is at the end of Forrest Gump's epic run. And when he runs cross-country or whatever he does, I don't remember exactly, but...
I don't know if it's cross... He just kept running.
Kept on running, and the little girl said, "Run, Forrest, run." He ends up at the Marshall Point Lighthouse in Port Clyde, Maine. So there's something for you. If you're ever in Maine, go find the Marshall Point Lighthouse. In addition to the lighthouse, which you can tour, there's also a museum which has documents and photographs of the filming of the movie in 1990. Has
documents?
Documents,
some
yes.
Documentation.
Like, this movie was filmed here.
Yes.
Of course, if you really want to celebrate Forrest Gump, just go to your local touristy area and eat at the Forrest Gump restaurant.
There is a Bubba Gump Shrimp Company.
Right here in Baltimore.
The, Baltimore Inner Harbor.
That costs $18 for a shrimp cocktail. Yeah. So good times. That's how Forrest Gump would have wanted it. Have you ever eaten there?
No, I can't say that I have.
I have. It's good food, but it is very, very pricey and unnecessarily so.
Or you could run upstairs in Philly and then just go get a cheesesteak.
That is true. If
you don't injure yourself first.
You could the gas that you would burn going to Philadelphia from Baltimore would be cheaper than the shrimp cocktail at Bubba Gump's. So
I imagine.
Think about that, people. Think about that. We're going to go to Maine. Martha's Vineyard.
We're already in Maine. We're already in Maine. We're at a lighthouse.
We're backtracking. Well, we're going from one lighthouse to Martha's Vineyard, which is where Jaws was filmed. It played Amity Island in the movie, but it was actually filmed at Martha's Vineyard. And if you want the actual beach where it was filmed, the actual beach is the Joseph A. Sylvia State Beach. So you can
just rolls off the tongue.
Yes, it's just like Ocean City, Maryland. We're like, we're going down to Joseph A. Sylvia State Beach, hon. Or I guess you'd have more of a Massachusetts accent, which I can't do.
That was close.
Close enough. That was my Baltimore accent.
A.
Also, while you're there, look for the American Legion Memorial Bridge, which is known as the Jaws Bridge.
The Jaws Bridge,
yes.
That's a stretch there, guys.
Apparently, Martha's Vineyard has a love-hate relationship with their history with Jaws. At times, they celebrate it and have like a Jaws fest and do all kinds of activities, and there's a museum there.
With documents.
Yes, with documents and photographs. And then other times they get tired of all the tourists and want to break, and they don't have Jaws Fest.
They hate all that touristy dollars coming in, spending all that
just
money.
The worst. Which is ironic because the whole thing that drives the movie is the town wanting the tourist dollars. And it's a real-life struggle, I guess, for the folks of Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Have you ever been to Martha's Vineyard?
I have not.
Neither have I. Sad. But I've seen Jaws many times.
I think that's a very affluent area,
yes.
I think.
You hear like, we're going to Martha's Vineyard this weekend. Yes. It sounds snobby, Vineyard.
Yeah. The shrimp's probably very expensive there, too.
True. And there's not pictures of Tom Hanks on the wall. So we're going to go to Chicago. That's a great place, right? You've ridden your bike there?
I have. Yes. The traffic patterns were not enjoyable, as I recall.
Oh, traffic patterns. I found this. The Drake Hotel in Chicago is where Tom Cruise meets up with Rebecca De Mornay in Risky Business. So if you like hooker movies, that's a place you could go. Another person who played a hooker once, Julia Roberts, but not in My Best Friend's Wedding. She also stayed there in that movie, and that was filmed there.
Same hotel?
Same hotel, yeah. 20-some years apart. But
they have nice hardwood floors. You can slide in white socks.
I guess they do.
I like doing that on my floors here.
I don't think that was in the hotel, though. That was at his house.
Oh, I stand corrected. That's not part of this podcast. Do not slide on the floors. Forget it.
No, that's a separate show. But can you imagine if you did that in a hotel in your underwear? Oh, the looks you would get. The looks you would get. How about what would get you more looks in a hotel lobby? Dancing around in your underwear and socks, or being with a hooker? I mean, who knows? That's all.
Probably underwear and socks.
Yes.
The other thing.
What if the hooker?
Happens often.
What if the hooker was in her underwear and socks? What? Here's what you want to do while you're in Chicago. Go find Glenbrook North High School and Northbrook.
Put your pants on first.
Yes, put your pants on. Glenbrook North High School in Northbrook, Illinois, and Maine North High School in Des Plaines, Illinois. I'm sure it's totally cool to just go walk around a high school that you have no business being at, but this is where scenes from both Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off were shot.
Ah, nice.
Yes, so I'm sure they would understand if you just roamed through the halls of the school, taking pictures and
asking touristy questions.
Right. Where was Ferris? Now, if that's not enough for you, you might want to check out the Shermer Club, a John Hughes Fest, which is happening this year, June 22nd to June 25th. It's a mega celebration of all things John Hughes. Did you watch these movies when you know what I speak of when I say John Hughes films?
I knew when you said Shermer Club, I knew it refers to Shermer High School.
Nice. Yes, the fictional town where.
So yes, I
Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles. Did you watch those like when we were in school? Because that
very much.
Yeah,
very much
had zero interest to me when I was in high school.
Breakfast Club was fantastic. Pretty in Pink, not so much.
It was kind of girly, right? Like that's kind of
I think that's what. Yeah,
girly. That's a good word. Well,
I'm trying to think what's the aesthetic? Yeah, girly.
Okay. Feminine.
Yeah,
girly.
It's about a
chick flick.
Yeah, it's more chick flick.
Yeah, I had no interest in these movies when we were actually in high school when they came out, but now, of course, I see them for the classics they are. But anyway, so I would go to this John Hughes festival. Some of the celebrities that are going to be there this year, Anthony Michael Hall, who was in a bunch of them, was in 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and Weird Science. That's another one.
Nice.
Not to mention he played Rusty in the first Vacation film. Mm-hmm. And my adorable, lovely, wonderful Leah Thompson, she's going to be there. She was in Some Kind of Wonderful, which is one of my favorites of that genre. And Andrew McCarthy, who was in Pretty in Pink, he's going to be there as well.
And he was in Less Than Zero, just to
yes,
throw
that's
that
one of your
in there.
favorites, right? Yeah. And he was also in Mannequin. So, hey, what are you going to do? So this festival is all weekend. There's going to be Q&As, as they call it, Q&As. Bus tour of filming locations. They're going to be screening different the films throughout the week. And then the big climatic event at the end of the weekend, a live...
Detention?
A live recreation of the entire 16 Candles wedding sequence.
Wow.
Yeah, that's...
I'm like, is that going to be a train wreck?
I'm
like, is this a good idea or an awful idea?
It's an awesome idea. I'm sure. It's just like a play. You're just going to be outside, and I guess the people will be like the people attending will be attending the wedding, and then they'll have all the actors. Now, I don't know if like Anthony Michael Hall is going to be participating in that. If he's,
I think he just drove in the parking lot.
Oh yeah,
and
maybe
woke up in the parking lot
in real life or in the movie.
In the movie, he drove in the. He woke up in the parking lot. It was a convertible Cadillac.
I don't remember, but
he has braces.
His braces will be there.
Yes.
And for an upcharge of $5, you can pick food out of his braces. That's going to be
But not shrimp. That's $10 upcharge.
Right, that's a $10 upcharge.
June 22nd through 25th.
Yes. You going to go and ride your bike up?
And where is this again?
It's in Chicago.
Chicago.
I guess it's near Des Plaines and Northbrook. So, I have the website here. The ShermerClub.com will give you all the information. It's a pretty neat, actually, pretty cool website. They're also going to have a bunch of cars there from the film, some famous cars that played big parts in it. And the one that stuck out to me was Cameron's father's 61 Ferrari Spider that he drove out the back window when they were trying to reverse the mileage. So that would be cool.
It should be noted that Ferris is not going to be present.
No, he's
staying at home.
His career's on track. He doesn't need to show up here. But I would go just to see my dear, dear, sweet Leah Thompson. Oh, Leah. Good times.
I don't remember her.
She is in... Did you see Some Kind of Wonderful?
Probably, but I don't remember it.
She's most famously the mom in the Back to the Future movies, I think, is her biggest, most famous role.
She was not in the detention movie.
She was not in the detention movie. Although
Breakfast
she's in
Club.
There's a lot of...
Ali Sheedy. That's
Ali
something.
Sheedy.
She's not on the list.
No,
so.
she's not there. She was in Short Circuit also.
Her career is not on track. Why isn't she? Like,
where's
did they
Short
not even
Circuit
invite
3?
her?
That's true. Maybe they didn't invite... Maybe they...
Or Short Circuit 2, Electric Boogaloo?
There's a whole bunch of other people there. I just put the 3 big names, but like everybody was recognizable. Like, the principal from this or whatever. The friend from this movie. I don't think Ali Sheedy was on the list. I would have noticed because I would have propped me up to make a Short Circuit reference, but she's not there. But it'd be cool to see the Ferrari. I would imagine when they actually drove the Ferrari out the back, they used some kind of stunt car and didn't destroy an actual.
You think they didn't destroy a $200,000 car?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows? All right, so moving on from Chicago area, we're going to hit up Woodstock, which I don't even know where that is. That could be in the Chicago area, but still in Illinois. And you might be surprised to find that the movie Groundhog Day, which famously takes place in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania, was actually shot in Woodstock, Illinois. And are you shocked to find that out, Matt?
Oh, I am not. That they would lie to us. The media would lie to us about something. The liberal
media lied to us.
It's fake news.
Yeah, it's fake groundhogs.
It's fake movies.
It was a fake shadow. So in the movie, Bill Murray stays at the Cherry Street Inn, but the actual bed and breakfast is the Royal Victorian House in Woodstock, and you can stay there in the room where he stayed. And I looked on their website; they don't have any rooms like the Bill Murray suite or the Fred Meyerson suite or anything like that. But another lost opportunity. But the town itself does have Groundhog Days celebration every February.
Every day.
Every day. Oh, that would make sense. I see
sense.
what you did there.
They could really milk that one.
So if you go in February, you can stay at the Royal Victorian Manor, just like Bill Murray did, and go to Groundhog's Day, where they do their own groundhog, where he comes up and sees a shadow or not, and also a walking tour of filming sites, and they do a dance and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's pretty cool because people love the movie Groundhog Day, and there's a way to celebrate it by going to Groundhog Days in Woodstock, Illinois.
That's with an S, right? D-A-Y-S?
D-A-Y-S,
okay.
Not D-A-Z-E.
I don't want a Z anywhere in there.
Now we're going to put some miles on the bike and head out of Illinois and go all the way out to Oregon for our next stop. It is the Timberline Lodge, which played the Overlook Hotel in the classic horror film The Shining. Now, I have never seen The Shining because I can't handle horrific images in front of me. You seen The Shining?
A long time ago.
Yes. And you still have nightmares?
No. It's a long movie, is what I recall. It's a long movie.
So obviously this is a Stephen King, based on a Stephen King book. I would imagine known as one of the better horror films of all time. A lot of horrible, terrible things happen in the movie. And I found it funny on their website, while they do want to tie in and get a little bit of that shining dollar, they also want to make very, very clear that you will not be murdered or any such horrible things happen while you're staying in the hotel. So I actually printed this out word for word from their website, where it says, the movie The Shining was based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, which was inspired by the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. Several of the exterior shots in the film, which report to show the lodge, such as those of the hedge maze and loading dock, were taken at Elstree Studios in England using a mock-up of the south face of the lodge. There is no hedge maze at the Timberline Lodge. I guess something terrible happens in the hedge maze?
Yeah, they get lost. It's like a blizzard, and they're lost in a hedge maze. And when you're bringing this one up, I'd be like, oh, that'd be cool to see that little maze thing that gets stuck in. But they don't have it?
No,
Forget it. I'm not going to this one. It's not worth. I'm not driving across the country.
They
for
don't
this.
have it. All interior scenes were shot at Elstree Studios as well and do not depict the interior of the Timberline Lodge. Director Stanley Kubrick was asked not to depict room number 217, which is featured in the book The Shining, because future guests at the lodge might be afraid to stay there. So a non-existent room, number 237, was substituted in the film, and now room 217 is requested more often than any other room at the Timberline. So
I imagine their guests are particular and they're tired of not meeting expectations, or I'd go there and be like, where's the maze? Like,
right.
It's in England.
Where's the blood flowing out of the elevator?
Right. And so
yeah, I guess it does. I guess it is more. Yeah,
they just have to say, no, it's just a regular hotel, man.
Don't get your hopes up. But if you want to come here because it was shot here, go right ahead. But yeah, so that would be kind of, I don't know, it'd be creepy. But I guess if the inside doesn't look anything like the movie, you're not going to freak out. But it would be fun just for once to see a elevator open up and a bunch of blood. Am I right? Doesn't that happen in that movie? It's like all the blood flows out of the elevator and the twins and.
Don't recall. I just know there was a maze. It was snow.
Yes. Really selling my movie credibility by not having seen The Shining, but
both of us.
Yes.
I mean, I have seen it. I'm just like, I don't know. Forget it.
So many movies, so little time. So we're in Oregon. Also, Matt, home of one of our favorite films ever filmed, The Goonies.
Oh, boy. Should we yell into the microphone now for this part? Like just scream into the microphone? Would the Goonies fans get that reference? Because the whole movie's just screaming the entire time.
We talked about our indifference.
But it's a classic.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
People love their Goonies. So much so that the town of Astoria, Oregon, where Goonies was filmed, has a Goonies Day celebration this year on June 7th. And you can see the Goonies house where the Goonies lived or something. I don't remember this movie at all because
there's a playhouse out back.
Okay.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the little playhouse. There's a little tree fort thing.
Well, there's the house that became a huge tourist attraction, and people wanted to come see the house. So somebody bought the house and fixed it up real nice. Similar story like we heard with the Christmas thing, with the Christmas story house. Mm-hmm. And the house got up to 1,500 visitors a day, and they weren't like running a business necessarily. They just let people come up and take pictures, and once in a while they would invite people in and show them around, and really enjoyed having this piece of film history. But then apparently over the last few years, the owners had just had enough that people were, leaving cigarettes in their yard and beer bottles, and people would come up there and drink at night and just really started trashing the property up. So they decided, no more, we're not doing this anymore. And to stop people from coming up, this is hilarious, and I'm going to try to remember to post a picture on Twitter so you guys can see this. They tarped the house up. They just put like a huge giant blue tarp right in front of their house, and so you can drive up to you can't see the house at all. So if you make the trek up there, all you're looking at is a big giant blue tarp over top of their house, which is like just straight down. Like you can't even make out the shape of the house. It's just like they're gonna.
Good, that's what I would do. I dislike that movie so much. I would have bought that house and done that just to be like, no, we will not acknowledge this.
Local Goonies unenthusiast Matt recently
purchased the house
and it's now gone.
It just tore it down.
But when you see this picture, it looks like they're gonna like CG in another house or whatever because it's just a big giant blue screen there. But otherwise, the town has embraced the Goonies, and you can pick up a pamphlet in town and follow a walking trail and see plenty of the sights from the movie, spots where there was filming, the houses, a jail, a bowling alley, and there's also plenty of websites. You can just do a quick Google search, and you will find all kinds of stuff that'll take you to where you would want to go if you love Goonies. You will
Picking up a pamphlet, that's like a document, right?
It is like a document. Yeah. Well, documents go in museums, and pamphlets just stay put.
Can you imagine if you had 1,500 people visit your house? The first day would be neat, but the second day you'd be tired of it already.
Right, yeah.
You'd have the tarp up like midway through the first day. Like, here, you people, help me.
It'd be
put
like
this
after
tarp
lunch.
up.
Can you look up tarps on Google? How much does that cost?
I need a big one.
All right, we're going to zigzag. I think we're just going to zag back across the country and come back up the East Coast. We are zag nuts. We love zagging. And this is one that I've done, and it's not a huge deal, but it's a really cool thing to see is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, which runs from Virginia Beach to Cape Charles. Virginia Beach, for those of you that don't know, is in Virginia. Have you ever been across this Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel? I have. It is... It's really
quite the thing.
Yeah, what it is it's a 23-mile stretch across the Chesapeake Bay, and that's so long that it's a tunnels and bridges. So you'll go over a long bridge, and then to break up the bridge, you go down under a tunnel for a while. I think it's in 4 sections, so you go up and down twice. So it's kind of cool, and when you do it, when you drive it, you can also listen to a podcast. What's your favorite movie podcast? No,
that's the one to listen to.
Yes. You can listen to a podcast that the Bridge Authority has put together. That you start and stop at the different sections, so it narrates along the way and tells you all about it. In the last section, when we went from Virginia to Cape Charles, the last section of bridge, they talk all about how Mission Impossible 3 was filmed on that section of bridge. In the movie, is blown up by missiles. It wasn't blown up by missiles.
Is there a big section in their documents that say, please note, this bridge will not be blown up by missiles while you're driving here?
This bridge does not look like the bridge in the movie.
Yeah.
The podcast tells you such, I guess. But, the actual, all the action was actually filmed in L.A. on a soundstage, but the exterior shots, the wide shots, were all filmed right there, and it takes place on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, so that's pretty cool. You should check that out. You can also stop and eat lunch on the bridge, which is neat. There's a little restaurant and gift shop. How about this one? We're going to go down to North Carolina. How would you like to take the Hunger Games unofficial tour?
That'd be good.
In Cedar Mountain, North Carolina.
It's like being homeless in the woods, right?
Yes. Have you seen the Hunger Games?
I have.
Yes. I enjoyed the Hunger Games. Now, in the movie, when they go into the Hunger Games, it's called the Arena. That was filmed at DuPont State Recreational Park in Cedar Mountain, North Carolina. And this company has organized you can do a 3-hour or a 5-hour tour. So you can go into the park with a tour guide, and they will take you around to up to 15 shooting locations. And I saw the pictures, and I'm not...
Oh, I see what they did there. Shooting locations.
Yeah. So when I saw the pictures online, I was like, oh, yeah, that looks totally... Like, I got it.
That's that rock
that's
they were
the
standing
rock.
on.
The waterfall. And you also get lunch with, quote, food from the books and movie. I don't know what that means. They get like a scrap of bread and some berries, some poisonous berries. You'll also do archery lessons and play a game of Archery Tag, registered trademark, a game they invented.
Oh, Archery Tag. Seems safe.
And then this was my favorite. Camouflage your hand just like PETA does in the movie.
All right.
A little stretch in it. But for these tours start at $38, which actually is pretty decent price tag for something like that. So
if you say so.
You get free berries and look at a empty forest for 5 hours.
You can't see your hand.
Hunger Games unofficialtours.com if you want to check that. If you want to book that immediately. And our last stop is the stop that started it all. The Mountain Lake Lodge in Pembroke, Virginia is where they filmed.
Friday the 13th?
Who?
Friday the 13th?
No, that's Crystal Lake in, I believe, Texas.
Oh, sorry. Jason.
Yes. Mountain Lake Lodge played Kellerman's in Dirty Dancing. And you can book the Dirty Dancing themed weekend package. Step in Johnny Castle and Baby's dancing shoes for a weekend. Stay in Kellerman's Mountain House for one of our Dirty Dancing themed weekends. Enjoy a full itinerary of the movie, this is what it said, of the movie film tours. I guess they mean shooting locations, dance lessons, Saturday night party, and much more. Guess what, Matt? You'll have...
the time of my life?
The time of your life. It's sold out through September of this year, too. How much do you think something like that would set you back? How much would you be willing to pay to have the time of your life?
38's a bit steep for camouflaging my hand. I don't know. I get to stay at the place? Call it like $450.
$450. Double that. $800.
It's not really double.
No, it's not really double, and it's for two people, so I guess you're about right. Yes. So,
hey, whatever. That's a value.
Yes, $800 for the Dirty Dancing themed weekend package. You can find that if you're interested at mtnlakelodge.com. Not getting a kickback from these folks for giving them all this wonderful...
They should be giving a kickback to you if they're sold out. Wow.
Yeah, they don't need to give me a kickback. They're sold out, so... That is, Dirty Dancing. And that's just a little sample of some of the movie tour things that you can find all along, mostly along the East Coast. But
what's that other dancing show with the tractor and the kids aren't allowed to dance?
Oh, Footloose.
Yeah, I want to take the Footloose tour where, like, you can ride a tractor in the field. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
The Footloose tour is you pay and you go into a big barn and they play really, really good music, but you're not allowed to dance for 2 hours. You just have to stand there.
I mean, you can sell that to people.
Yes, you could.
It's just a barn somewhere.
And then you get to eat Footloose bacon would be my guess.
Footloose bacon.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to put a link to most of this stuff on Twitter to drive some traffic over there. So go check us out at WYF Movie Podcast, and maybe you'll book your summer vacation through us. Tell them that what's your favorite movie podcast sent you, and nothing will happen. But
just don't go to the Goonies place.
Not recommended by this podcast.
The
thing is, folks, I thought it was going to be like Gremlins. I thought I was getting little puppets. There's no puppets in the Goonies. It's just a bunch of kids yelling. Is that entertainment? I don't understand.
I don't think so.
Puppets are entertaining. Those Gremlins were funny as all get out, right?
Yeah, especially after midnight.
Exactly.
Goonies are just loud the entire time.
Right.
Screaming
before
for
and
days.
Before and after midnight.
Yes, the whole time.
Just screaming. True that. All right. Well, Matt, thank you so much for having us here and giving us your insights on travel and movies and life and whatever else.
And pillow forts.
And pillow forts, yes. We have to take a picture of this pillow fort, too, and put that up. So, folks, please do us a favor and subscribe to the show. Go on iTunes and hit subscribe. It helps us out so much. More importantly, tell a friend about the show. Share it on your social media, or just go right up to them and say, hey, do you like movies? Do you like podcasts? Please listen to What's Your Favorite Movie Podcast. Also, send us an email at favemoviepodcast@yahoo.com. Any show ideas, anything you want to let us know, feedback, we'd appreciate it. It's all good. Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. This is a good time.
Yes, good time under the sheets. Wow, that didn't sound right. We'll see you next time. Until then, folks, it's khaki wishes and cookie dreams.